In today's video, we're going to be continuing my perfume collection. We're on B. I know it's been a couple weeks. Time goes by so fast. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to get these out faster so we're not into fall. Still talking about my perfume collection. But yeah, we're going to talk about the B's, the houses that start with B today. I'm still going to talk about what I love, what I like, what I'm going to keep, what I'm going to get rid of. I'll talk about what fragrances could have been blind buys that just didn't make the cut, that never really made it into my collection, but things that I just have. I definitely want to do reviews on everything. I know a lot of my, I mentioned in my last video, I have a lot of redundancies and I want to talk about those because it's helpful to people to know if there's another alternative or maybe a more affordable alternative. And also with the Middle Eastern fragrances, which tend to be many of my redundancies, there's just not a lot of information out there. So it's just helpful to have another voice talking about fragrances that don't have a lot of reviews. So I want to do that for you. Once it's done, the fragrances that are not gonna stay in my collection, I'm gonna talk about them and then I'm gonna list them on my Mercari. So I'll definitely have that link down below if you guys wanna check. And it's gonna be slow. I know myself, but when I get them up, when I start to load things on the Mercari after the reviews have been done, then I will definitely give you guys a heads up and, whatever you want to do. If you want to take a look, take a look. If not, it's up to you guys. But I also wanted to formally introduce myself. Now this is what, my 101. How do you say that? My 101 video on YouTube. Tell me how to say that. But yeah, I've never introduced myself formally to you guys. I've done some swaps. I have introduced myself in that way to those people who I've actually sent packages to or have sent me packages. I definitely have introduced myself in that way, but I was really nervous getting onto YouTube. It took a lot for me to have my face shown, and so I just wanted to have a little bit of me. I wasn't sure who'd be watching. That kind of gave me the creeps a little bit, and so I just kind of wanted to keep my name to myself. But my name is Jamila. It's nice to meet you guys. And it just feels weird to say that out loud, but I just wanted you guys to know I'm comfortable enough now to say my name. I mean, I'm Jamila. So again, it's nice to meet you guys. You can call me Jay, you can call me Jamila. I have a lot of nicknames, but yeah, let's just get into the video. So we're gonna start, I've grouped them like I always do, not necessarily in alphabetical order, but they are in order by house. And I'm gonna start with the House of Boss. I have 2 from this house. I used to have 3, but I gave away the other. I gave away Boss the scent Private Accord. I went ahead and gave that one. I gave that one away. Beautiful scent. Would I buy it again? I think I would if it was fine and it smelled good. I don't know that I would repurchase that fragrance. I don't know yet, but it's a good fragrance. Kind of chocolatey, orangey, and a little bit floral. I think it goes into an area where, why am I talking about that? I don't even have it. But yeah, like a chocolatey, orangey, but it's not so gourmand. It doesn't necessarily make you want to eat it. The chocolate is kind of fleeting. The orange is discernible, but it kind of goes off into like a kind of a muddled territory toward the end of the fragrance, but it still smells good. So that is that. This is Boss, the scent. This is Absolute. So for me, this is more of a peachy fragrance, and it has some powderiness to it. And I get tobacco. I get a juicy peach. These atomizers are great. Let me spray it up so you can see. Nice and pressurized. So I get a juicy peach when I first spray this. Kind kind of syrupy, still fresh, not overly sweet, and I get wet tobacco. So like there's chocolate, coffee listed in this fragrance, but I don't really pick up coffee. It's been a thing for me as long as I can remember, starting, you know, to smell fragrances. I have a hard time picking up mixed coffee notes. Now I can pick it up if it's a very literal coffee, but when it's in a composition, I really do have trouble picking up coffee. So other people may be able to get something a little bit different than me, but for me, this fragrance smells like a peachy wet tobacco leaf, and I like it. I think it's great for wintertime. I think it could be great for evenings, but yeah, there's some powderiness to it too. I think this is a really nice fragrance. So that is Boss the Scent Absolute. I also have from Boss, this is the scent Private Accord. Now this is much lighter, definitely no heavy notes in this. So this is everything stripped away. This is just the peachy or the apricot-y feeling, floral kind of osmanthus with the musk. That's really all that this fragrance is about. I'll go ahead and spray it again. I'll spray it and show you guys the atomizer for this, but it's not much different than the other. But this has this is a great musky, like floral musk. Very light, very refreshing fragrance. Perfect for summertime, springtime, warm weather period. Very inoffensive. You could wear this to work, places where you don't want people to be overwhelmed by your scent, but you just want to feel fresh and clean. I think this fragrance is good for that. Not the best lasting, as you hear from Boss fragrances. The Private Accord, maybe because of the heavier notes, is probably a little bit better. It's maybe about 6 hours or so. But this, I'm always a huge advocate of spraying your clothes as well as your skin. So whether you spray it on the outside of your clothes or kind of down, you know, inside your clothes, just don't spray it too close. Just kind of mist them. As long as it's fabrics that can take that, make sure you look that up. This is, I don't know if it's an EDT or an EDP, but if your fragrance, which, you know, has more oil in it, which would be an EDP or an extrait or something like that, you might want to be more careful about spraying your clothes with those types of fragrances. But when you get to the EDT, I don't know that you have to worry so much, but still spray it kind of far away and just mist it. But it really helps the lasting power of the fragrance. Now, when you spray it on your skin, it helps the development of the fragrance because you have the warmth of your skin kind of evaporating it and taking it from the top to the mid to the bottom. But you know, when you spray it on your clothing, unless it, you know, it's kind of close to your skin, but the clothing kind of holds those top notes a little bit longer, and the fragrance longer in general. So that is something, if you didn't know, you know, that you can do to help yourself or help your fragrances last a little bit longer. But yeah, this is a very refreshing, peachy, apricot-y, musk kind of type floral, refreshing fragrance for the warmer weather. So that is Boss the Scent Pure Accord. The next house I have is Byron, and I have two from them. These are definitely OGs for me. The first one is Chronic. I have had these for a long time. These are probably some of my first niche, if I'm thinking back. Not quite sure, but I've had them for a while. The Chronic, if you look at the notes, and maybe you've heard it before, but I'll say it again because it's very true, the notes will scare you away. I think it's listed pepper and leather, and I'm not sure what else, but it definitely does not reflect what is in this fragrance. You get a peppery note, I will say that. For me, this fragrance smells like a bubblegummy ginger ale, kind of a syrupy, sweet kind of ginger ale that still has some effervescence to it. I'll go ahead and spray wrong way. But the atomizers here are nice as well. See, these bottles have been changed. I'm not sure about how the new bottles spray, if the atomizers are the same, but if you happen to come across a bottle maybe on like a gray market or something that's older, it has a very nice atomizer, but it's just very sweet. So you get, I'm trying to say, you get the pepper at the top, kind of tickles your nose, but you get maybe a peppery feel in the way that the bubbles of a soda might tickle your nose. That's that. But yeah, just very bubblegummy, like the pink bubblegum, but also that ginger ale. I know ginger ale, yeah, that ginger ale feel. But that's what I get. If you get something else, let me know. Let the people know. It's a beautiful fragrance, though. It almost makes me think of like a bubblegummy tuberose. So I don't know if anybody has smelled Tuberose Imperial by BDK. I think that's what it's called. But the way that that tuberose is done, kind of fluffy and powdery, I feel like there could be some tuberose in this fragrance. I'm not sure, but that's just what I'm getting. That's what I'm guessing. But that is the Chronic by Byron. I definitely think you guys should try this one out. The other one that I have from Byron is Mula Mula. Now this one is a peachy, a sweet, but not overly sweet peach with some red berries. There's caramel in here and a touch of oud. And the oud is more woody. I think it's just to add a little bit more sophistication to this fragrance so that it's not just so fruity floral. There's a little bit more depth to it, I think. So again, the atomizer is really nice. Yeah, and I just get a very kind of, it's still I was gonna say it's a bright peach, but it is a very sweet syrupy peach. So there's some, it's very sweet, but there is some, oh, it's not so sweet for me. I like a sweet fragrance. You need to know that about me. I do like a sweet fragrance. This doesn't feel like it would be overwhelming to me. Maybe in the heat of the day, maybe, especially if there's a lot of humidity around. But this fragrance, I think, I don't know, I can wear this maybe on a summer night, definitely springtime, in the fall and winter, although because it has the peaches and things like that, it makes me feel like a summery fragrance or a warmer weather fragrance, maybe a nighttime. But yeah, I mean, people just have to figure that thing out. Those types of, you know, when to wear type of things out for themselves. Whatever feels right for you is what you do, you know. You have to know what feels comfortable for yourself, and that's what you do when you're wearing fragrance. So that's Mula Mula by Byron. Lasting power is amazing for both of those. They really last a long time. And you don't need a whole lot. These are very strong fragrances, so beautiful. Mula Mula. The next house I will move to is Byron, BDK. Okay, so this is Pas Ce Soir, and this is a very juicy, kind of spicy, gingery quince. So quince is I looked it up. Quince is a fruit on its own, but when looking at what it could taste like, if you've never tried it before, they say it's kind of a mix between an apple and a pear. So if you can imagine that mixed with some ginger, and you really get the ginger. It's like a candy ginger. So if you can, I just had one of these the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact. So if you can imagine those ginger chews, if you've ever had them, like the candy ginger, it's like that. And then as the fragrance starts to wear, like just now, I can feel like that sweet, juicy kind of freshness from the quince coming out. Very, very fun, I think the ginger makes it sexy. I really do think this is like again, like Mula Mula, like the Chronic, it's a sweet fragrance, but it's like an adult candy, an adult sweet fragrance. I think it has sex appeal to it, you know? But yeah, as this fragrance dies down, it has a little bit of a more woody feel. Again, if you want it to last a little bit longer, just spray your clothes a little bit. I also think, you know, you can get decants, you know. I get decants on Amazon. You can take your favorite fragrances with you. You can re-up. You know, if the longevity and the projection and the sillage and all that mean so much, you know, there are definitely ways that you can take your fragrance with you to add it to, make it last a little bit longer if it's not the longest lasting. I'm obviously saying that because this doesn't have a great reputation for lasting power. I really don't think it's that bad. I think I get about 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 out of this fragrance. But again, there's ways to help yourself with that. So take some decants with you, or if the bottle is sturdy enough and your purse is big enough, you can just throw your bottle in your purse. I wouldn't do that. I would take a decant. But yeah, my point is, said all that to say, if you like a fragrance, buy it. There's ways to make it last longer for yourself. So that is Pas Ce Soir by BDK. Really, really beautiful. I tried to sneak Gris Charnel in there, but I really never had a full bottle of Gris Charnel. I bought a very, very partial bottle, so it was almost gone when I bought it, probably like a 10th left in the bottle. So I didn't think that was really fair. It was more like a decant, so I wasn't going to bring it on this list just to show you the bottle, even though it was there. So I left that one out. So the next house, even though I mentioned it anyway, the next house is Burberry. I have two. The first one I'll mention is very popular. This was very, very popular when it first came out. This is Burberry Her. This is the strawberry milkshake that people say. I get the berryness of it. I get that feel. Milkshake, I think I don't quite get that. I think it's more of a soft, woody strawberry, like airy strawberry. I do think this fragrance is a version of Baccarat Rouge with just a bunch of berries added on top. I do get those airy woods, those soft, airy woods that Baccarat Rouge has. This fragrance definitely has that. So just think of a bunch of berries on top of Baccarat Rouge. And for me, that's what I get. This atomizer, oh, and there's some florals in here too. Maybe a jasmine or something like that added to all of that. So it's not just straight up gourmandy, There's some florals to it as well, some clean florals. I'll show you the atomizer. Very nice pressurized atomizer as well. Doing good with these atomizers. Yeah, berries, soft berries. Kind of powdery. Very, very nice. It's almost like what came to mind just right now is like almost like a Pez candy. Have you guys ever had a Pez? I don't know, that's kind of an old candy. I was born in the 80s, 1980 to be exact. And so we had all those fun little candies back then. But the tartness, but the sweetness, kind of powderiness of the Pez, it kind of took me back there. But as this dries down, I mean, you get that, those airy woods all the way through. So I think I'll always have this one. This is really easy for me to love, very easy for me to wear. It's just a beautiful fragrance. There is Jasmine and Violet. Violet is a purple flower that can be kind of hard for me because it does have a fruitiness to it, but it works very well in here. So it's blackcurrant, blueberry, raspberry, jasmine, violet, musk, and dry amber. So I think if you have not tried this yet and you like kind of sweet scents but not overly sweet scents, fragrances that kind of form a beautiful cloud around you, that are airy, that are not heavy, this is definitely one to try. Another one from Burberry that I have is the EDT. Now this is really nothing. Let me stop before I say something that's not true. I'm gonna go ahead and spray it first, but I remember this fragrance to be very watery, okay, very refreshing, more floral, definitely. Let's see what we get. Oh, this is so pretty. This is pretty. Let's see. I think there's I get like pink and white flowers from this. But again, very refreshing, like there's some dew on the flowers or something like that. But it's very floral sweet. So it's not sugary sweet, but there is a floral sweetness to it. So not overly done, very light, again, very airy in the same way that the Burberry Her is, just the way that it feels around you. It's nothing heavy, you're not gonna be carrying the fragrance with you. It's just gonna be kind of around you as you move around, But let's see, this one has mandarin, pink peppercorn, plum blossom, peony, musks, and sandalwood. Okay, so yeah, there's really not a lot of berries or anything. It doesn't smell similar to the Burberry herb, but it kind of feels similar. So if you're looking for like a slightly floral, like a floral sweet, refreshing, it's not harsh at all. It's very smooth and just petally, you know. You just think of the petals of maybe some jasmine or some pink roses or the peony, whatever, kind of taken off, and you're kind of smelling them, and it's dewy or humid around you. That's what this fragrance gives me, and it's really pretty. Easy to wear, as you can see, many occasions, whatever makes you feel comfortable. That's what I always say. So whatever makes you feel comfortable when you're wearing your fragrances. The next house is Bulgari, and it is the only one that I have from this house. This is Jasmine Noir. Guess I should show you the front. All printed up, sorry about that. But yeah, this is a not necessarily jasmine. There's a lot more to it than that. Let me go ahead and spray it. But when I think of this fragrance, I think of almond, sweet almond, and sandalwood. Okay, maybe a few florals, like maybe a little bit of jasmine thrown in there, but that for me is definitely not the main focus of this fragrance. So let me go ahead and spray it. So this is more like a puff, not as beautiful as the pressurized atomizers, but it's good enough. So first spray, I had an issue with this spray. Oh, sandalwood for sure. A sweet sandalwood. Sweet almondy as it starts to develop, and there's more jasmine kind of more in the background. I think it's more of a supporting player, but for me this is more about a beautiful sweet almond sandalwood. This fragrance is great, you guys. I had trouble smelling this fragrance for a while, so I've had it for a long time, and there came a time, I think I did some videos back a few months back, maybe. I don't know what videos, but I mentioned that I was having a hard time even smelling this fragrance. Sometimes I would spray it and wouldn't get anything from it. Like it would be very fleeting, and then my nose would just get tired right away and I couldn't smell it at all. But definitely that's not the case anymore. And I know that this fragrance projects because I've worn it before, and standing maybe arm's length from, you know, the person I was with, they said that they could smell, I smell good. So I've gotten compliments on this fragrance. I'm looking down to see if I've gotten compliments from any other ones. The Burberry Her, for sure, I've gotten compliments on that. The Mula Mula, I've got compliments on that. Those are the only ones that I can remember so far. But if you like sandalwood, it's sweet. It's also smooth. Sandalwood with almond, if you can imagine that, and just some florals in the background. I think this is a very sexy fragrance, a very sensual fragrance. I would wear this out on a date. I would wear this out on date night, and I think it's very seductive. So that is Jasmine Noir by Bulgari, and this is the EDP. This is the EDP. And pay attention to the cap. I think the caps are different in some of them, but that's what it is, if this is what you're looking for. So the last house I have, and actually this is the house that I have the most of in the bees, but it is Boucheron. Okay, so we'll start with this one, and it's actually a sad thing to show this to you because I've had this fragrance for years and I've only sprayed it a few times. It's such a pretty little bottle. Ooh, such a pretty bottle. So it's kind of a clear pink, probably plastic, but the glass is really nice. And it's just a fresh, kind of sweet, kind of citrusy fragrance. Easy to wear. I mean, I have not worn it, but it is, when I have worn it, very easy to wear. Again, another little kind of puffer bottle. It's okay. I think there's pepper in this too, kind of pink pepper at the top. I don't mind pepper. I'm not somebody who minds pepper. And I definitely get some citruses in here. And it almost feels, I mean, I feel like creamy is the word that everybody wants to use. And not to say that fragrances aren't creamy, but I was gonna say maybe I'm getting a creaminess. I don't know if there's vanilla in this fragrance. I use creamy a lot too. But florals, I guess. I'd have to look it up. I'm not quite sure, but it's the feeling that I'm getting is a fresh, citrusy, like soft floral with maybe some vanilla in the way background. All right. But this is another easy reach, you know. I don't know if I'll keep this one. I feel like I have things clearly, you know, that I've used more than this fragrance. It is a little bit alcohol-y, if I'm honest. If I'm smelling, I'm just telling you what I smell. But if it's almost like on the level of a body spray in terms of the alcohol level that I smell in this. And it could be that it's just an older fragrance. It could be have been, but I store my fragrances in their containers mostly. I keep most of my boxes, and they are in my closet. So there's not a lot of light, not a lot of change in temperature. So they're stored properly. I don't know if I'll keep this one or not. I think I'll probably let this one go. It could be easy for anybody to wear. I see this, you know, being worn by teenagers, innocent teenagers, you know, meaning like, oh, I don't know if I should have, anyway, like 12, you know, as early as 12, I could see people wearing this fragrance. And up to adults, you know, clearly I bought it and it smells good. I just don't know if I need it. So I think I am gonna go ahead and give this one up. So that's Boucheron. What is this called? Place Vendôme. I think it's called Place Vendôme. So I think this is the first one that I'm gonna get rid of in this video. Let's see here. The next one we're gonna start with Boucheron. I'm trying to see. I guess it's their more luxury collection. This is Amber Imperial. Okay, or no. Ambre de Alexandrie, and this is definitely a really beautiful tobacco, cinnamon, apple pie type smelling fragrance. So you do definitely get the spices in here, but this fragrance has a lot of tobacco. I feel like there is a heavy tobacco note in this. So not quite pressurized, but still a nice atomizer. Cinnamon, definitely, just that, you definitely get that brightness. So it feels like apple. Don't think that there's any apple in here. I mean, not any that's listed anyway, but a very little, like sticky, that cinnamon apples in the can, I guess, that you would use for an apple pie filling. I think that's what I'm trying to say, with a lot of cinnamon. But as it develops, especially on my skin, that tobacco note definitely comes out, and it's just so nice. Very warm, very comforting, spicy apples and tobacco. It's not an ashy tobacco. It's definitely that rich tobacco, that sweet tobacco, that kind of moist tobacco that I like for pipe, like smoking in a pipe, kind of wet. I definitely like that, or, you know, however you want to smoke tobacco. But yeah, definitely very nice. And I think of colder weather when I think of this fragrance for sure. So it's probably the cinnamon, probably the spices, but very beautiful. Definitely keeping that one. The next one I have, this one kind of threw me off a little bit. Well, let me introduce it. It's Boucheron. This is Patchouli de Angkor, Angkor. Okay. So when you spray it, it's definitely on the fresher side. And I get a fruity note. So when I looked it up, it's pear. There's pear in here. And it's so like clean, and there's something, you can tell that the pear is very fresh and juicy, and and nice at the top, but there's something underlying to kind of ground it a little bit, and that is the patchouli. So the patchouli in here is green, clean, I meant to say. It's a clean patchouli. I will warn you, and I'm not going to keep this fragrance because as it wears, you definitely have to be a patchouli lover to love this fragrance, to like this fragrance, because the patchouli is very strong, and it pushes. I remember I was testing this line and I put the test strip down, and as I was kind of just sitting around and letting things develop or whatever, that patchouli was coming up from the test strip and just taking over everything. So for me, that type of patchouli, I can't handle it. I don't like that type of patchouli. It's too strong for me, too strong. And I wish it stayed more like the top, but the pear goes away and the patchouli it's a clean patchouli. So if you like that, you might like this fragrance, but it's just very strong for me. Not something that I enjoy. So this is Boucheron Patchouli de Encore. So this one I'm definitely gonna let go. Just a nice fragrance, but not for me. It's just not something I want to smell so close to my skin, to my nose. You know, it would smell nice probably on somebody else in passing in the air, their sillage, but for me, it's just too much. The next one, excuse me, the next one is Queer de Venice. And I think this is a great unisex fragrance. Oh, I wish it would focus a little bit better. Okay. It has chocolate in it, and it's definitely, I think there is leather in here. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's not exactly leather. It's whatever notes are in here is giving it a leathery feel. If I'm right, I could be wrong, but that's what I remember. But I do get the chocolatey note. Now, it's not a gourmand by any stretch. This is a very earthy fragrance, so it's almost like it's woody. Just the chocolate makes it a little bit sweet. And if you think about it enough, you can say, okay, that's like chocolate powder maybe. Very little of it, but it's there. It's definitely underlying, kind of supporting in the background. It's there, but it just gives it a sweetness. It's very woody, and possibly even, I almost want to say green, but I'm not sure what kind of green, because it's definitely not a stemmy green. It's more so, I almost want to say pine needles, but I don't know if that's accurate either. Maybe, but not spicy. You know, pine needles can be kind of spicy. That's not it. But it's very outdoorsy smelling, very natural, sweet smelling, leathery, woody type fragrance. It's very interesting. But as it dries on your skin, it gets very cozy feeling. It gets very cozy, and that sweetness kind of stays around and maybe jumps up a little bit more. So I can wear this sometimes, but I would much rather smell this on a man. I think it's unisex, leaning masculine, probably a few steps maybe on the masculine side. But it's a really nice fragrance. So if you like that earthy feel, like a sweet earthy feel, woody, I think it's worth it to try this one. I'm gonna keep this around. I have someone in mind that might like to wear this fragrance, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep it around for a little bit. Really nice though. So that is Queer de Venice. If you can try it out. Don't blind buy it. That one's not a safe blind buy. But this one is this is the last one. This is Fève Tonka, and this is the one that started this list, I think, or this house. My interest in this house. I think I had heard about the Amber de Alexandrie before, but what really kind of threw me over, I really wanted to try this one, was I guess I was in a Tonka mood. This is Fève Tonka de Canaima, okay? And I think Veronica was talking about this one. So when she started describing it, I was like, oh, heck yeah. And then I got onto, I think it was Fragrance Net that I got these from, and you know, saw a few others that were, well, clearly these ones that I have, they were at a good price, and so I just picked them up. But this one is powdery for sure. Sweet, 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 sweet. So, and it's like a thicker sweetness, thick, powdery sweet. There is a cherry kind of feel to the top of it. But if you are not in the mood for, I don't think it really develops that much either. So it's more past the cherry. I think the cherry dies down, but yeah, there's that cherry. It's kind of an almondy, like almost like that Jergens cherry almond feel, you know? But it is powdery and it's sweet, and I feel like it's thick because it's like a thicker cloud around you. So this would definitely be a better colder weather fragrance, I feel. Yeah, there's the cherry kind of dying down a little bit, and it just stays sweet and powdery around you. Really nice. Definitely not for now. A really good warm weather or cold weather fragrance, and I'm definitely keeping this one around. So that is Fève Tonka de Canaima, okay? So I'm getting rid of, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fragrances in this collection. I'm getting rid of 2. So that's gonna be the Patchouli de Encore and the Boucheron Place de Vendôme, okay? So I will put them aside. They're gonna be up on my Mercury. After I do my reviews, I have boxes for the Boucheron, and I don't think I have a box for the patchouli one, but I'll make it work. I'll find something. I have little boxes around. But anyway, that's it. That's it for my bees. I really appreciate you guys being here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you come back to the next one. It's not like me to say, you know, like and subscribe, but I guess that's something that you really have to do here, kind of. I hope you do find something that you like, that makes you want to subscribe to my channel. And definitely, I mean, if you're watching a lot of this video, go ahead and subscribe. I mean, go ahead and like the video at least. I love to respond to my comments. I love to hear what you guys think. So anything that you think about these fragrances, have you tried them? Are there some notes that you're interested in based on what I've described? Are you doing any house cleaning in your fragrance collection at all? Leave that in the comments for me. And yeah, let's talk about it. Just chat a little bit and chat with each other. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see you soon. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.